Hey everyone, and welcome to our explainer. Today, we're digging into a pretty awesome question. How do you actually become an expert in yak farming? Trust me, it's a world that's way more specialized than you might think, and we're going to lay out the roadmap to get you there.
It's a question we all ask ourselves at some point, isn't it? How do you go from just being interested in something to, being a true pro?
But what if that something happens to be one of the toughest, most fascinating animals on the entire planet? Well, that's what we're explaining today, the journey to becoming an expert in the incredible world of yaks.
Okay, so let's get right into it. The first thing you absolutely have to understand is this. You can't just raise a yak like you'd raise a cow or a sheep. No way. These animals are literally built for some of the most extreme environments on Earth, which means they've got a very, very specific set of needs.
I mean, you really have to shift your whole mindset. They thrive in the cold. We're talking coats that can handle minus 40 degrees. They need a specific kind of diet, and you have to know the right way to handle them. They're just in a league of their own. So, yeah, this is a specialized field, and it definitely calls for some dedicated training.
So, how do you get that training? Well, the really great news is that there's not just one single way to do it. You can really think of it as choosing your own learning adventure. We're about to explore the different paths you can take to build up that expertise.
We've basically broken it down into three main avenues. You've got the academic path, which is perfect if you want that strong theoretical foundation. Then there's the apprentice path, for all you hands-on learners. And finally, the community path, which is all about plugging into a network. And keep this in mind, these aren't separate roads. The best experts usually end up blending parts from all three.
All right, let's dig into that first one, the academic path. This is all about building that core, foundational knowledge from established places. This is for the folks who really want to understand the why behind the how. And when you look at the options, you can see this knowledge is spread all over the globe. Here in North America, you've got universities like Alaska Fairbanks and Colorado State that have great programs for cold climates and hardy animals. But if you want to get really specific, you've got to look to agricultural colleges in Central Asia, places like Nepal and Tibet, where they have programs built from the ground up entirely around yaks. And of course, in this day and age, you don't even have to leave your house. You can find amazing courses on sustainable farming on sites like Udemy and Coursera. You've got tons of practical video tutorials from actual farmers on YouTube, and there are even free or super affordable university-level classes online. The knowledge is literally at your fingertips, no matter where you are. Okay, next up, let's talk about the path for people who learn best by doing. Theory is awesome, but for some of us, there's just no substitute for getting your hands dirty and working directly with the animals. A huge player in this space is the International Yak Association, or the IA. You can think of them as your gateway to the practical side of all this. They put on workshops and field days where you can learn straight from the pros about everything from breeding and health to how to produce the best wool. The apprentice path is really all about total immersion. You could set yourself up to train on a real working yak farm, maybe shadow an expert for a whole season, or even find a mentor who can give you that one-on-one guidance. This is where you pick up on all the little things, the nuances that you're just never going to find in a textbook. So let's just put these two paths side by side for a second. The academic path gives you that deep theoretical foundation, and you can usually do it at your own pace. The apprentice path is all about practical, hands-on skills in a really intensive, immersive setting. So one builds what you know, and the other builds what you can do. Which one sounds more like you? Now here's the thing. No matter which path you're leaning towards, you absolutely don't have to go it alone. One of the most critical parts of this whole journey is plugging into the wider community. Finding your herd, so to speak. And what's so cool is how far-reaching this support network really is. It's global. Whether you're in North America, tapping into university extensions, or you're in the Himalayas working with big organizations focused on sustainable mountain development, or you're just connecting internationally through the IAWIA, there's a whole community out there ready to help you out. And this quote really just hits the nail on the head. This isn't just about learning for the sake of learning. It's about using these resources to directly improve how things are done, making yak farming more sustainable and, more profitable for everybody involved in the long run. So, what's the big takeaway here? The main thing to remember is that becoming a yak expert is totally achievable. The path is super flexible, and the best way to do it is to combine that formal book smarts with real hands-on skills, all while staying plugged into that global community for support and new ideas.
And that really brings us to the final question, the one for you to think about. After seeing these different paths, the academic, the apprentice, the community, which one feels like your first step? What kind of learner are you? And which adventure are you going to choose on your journey to becoming a yak farming expert?
Want to raise healthy, profitable yaks without beginner mistakes? Get How to Raise Yaks by Gerard Dawn, your step-by-step guide to successful yak farming. Link below.